What's going on, guys? My name is TeftyTeft, and welcome to another PlanetDestiny exotic gun review. Today I'll be looking at the Queenbreaker's Bow exotic fusion rifle. First off, you may be wondering how to go about acquiring the bounty that will eventually lead to obtaining the bow. If that's the case, make sure to check out the video linked in the description from PlanetDestiny that gives detailed instructions on acquiring and completing the bounty. And second, a giant shout out to Innocence for letting us use his account to review the Queenbreaker's Bow. Thank you, Innocence. Now onto the review. Cosmetically, it looks like it was taken from a fallen arsenal cabinet and put directly into your hands. It comes with two scopes that are permanently fixed to the body. The bow is clearly engineered by fallen designers and made for vandals to suit the extra eyes. As you can see, the wire rifles from the fallen snipers are basically identical. The flavor text reads, "Despite the breaker's treachery, Her Majesty still stands." The two scopes look and feel very alien-like. This might honestly be the most futuristic alien weapon in the game currently, with Necrochasm and Vex Mythoclast trailing behind just barely. This weapon is truly exotic in that it has something unique that no other weapon in Destiny currently possesses. It's a sniper fusion rifle. This concept may or may not interest you because, for one, fusion rifles tend to have a charge rate, and the bow absolutely has a charge rate. Secondly, fusion rifles have bullet travel time, which means that the farther the target is, the more difficult it will be to hit the enemy if they are strafing left or right. This is directly in contrast to the regular sniper rifle archetype that is hit scan, meaning when you pull the trigger, that bullet travels its designed distance immediately, and if it collides with the target, they take damage, assuming no lag is in play, of course. And just like the wire rifle shots from fallen Vandal snipers, the bow is arc damage. Definitely a good thing, since a lot of enemies have arc shields and arc burn is a popular modifier for the Nightfall. Let's dig into the perks before I talk about the pros and cons. First up, we have the Marksman Sights. This gives you a zoom close to the ambush scope and offers maximum range for this fusion rifle. Next, we have Combat Sights. This will increase the charge rate speed in exchange for reduced impact and range. And the zoom is reduced as well. And you might also be wondering if it has Sniper Glint while aiming down sights. Yes, it absolutely has Sniper Glint. Next we have Hipfire. Something that no other sniper rifle has is decent hipfire accuracy. The bow, on the other hand, has excellent hipfire accuracy because it's a fusion rifle and it has this perk active. In the middle tier of options we have Single Point Sling. This will allow rotating from primary to special relatively quickly and increase your strafing speed while aiming down sights. Flared Magwell will max out the reload speed. This weapon already has decent reload speed, so I feel like this might be the least desirable perk. Send It. This will increase the combat sight's range to the marksman scope range. It will not further increase the marksman scope range. And finally, we have Hidden Hand. This is a new perk introduced with the House of Wolves and effectively increases the hidden aim assist stat built into the weapon. The bow already comes with a high aim assist of 80, so it's safe to assume that Hidden Hand either maxes it out or gets it real close to maxed out. Now let's talk some damage numbers. These tests were performed with the highest impact marksman scope and on level 30 story mission enemies. For red health tier 1 enemies, body shots hit for 1,313 and criticals land for 3,937. For tier 2 yellow bar enemies, body shots hit for 1,313 and criticals land for 1,969. For PvP, both scopes are 1-shot critical and 2-shot to the body. In comparison to other popular snipers, a fully ascended 365 damage icebreaker on tier 1 enemies, body shots dealt 1,683 and criticals land for 8,415. Tier 2 enemy body shots land for 1,515 and criticals land for 3,787. A fully ascended 365 damage Praetus Revenge on tier 1 enemies body shots landed for 1,026 and criticals land for 5,129. Tier 2 enemy body shots land for 924 and criticals land for 2,309. As you can see from the numbers, the bow does not have the same sniper critical multiplier, but it has a critical multiplier unlike most fusion rifles which do not crit, with the exception of the Vex Mythoclast. Alright, let's talk about the good. One major difference between the bow and other sniper rifles is the ammo. The bow naturally spawns with 18 shots in PvP, and it can hold a max of 55 bullets without any help from armor modifiers. This immediately sets it apart from other sniper rifles, especially considering that Field Scout was removed from the new sniper rifle's rollable perks in House of Wolves, and special ammo in the Crucible has been further restricted with recent patches. Another strong contrast to other sniper rifles is the natural hipfire abilities of fusion rifles coupled with the hipfire perk. This is practically the only reliable no-scope sniper rifle in the game. The standard sniper rifle class has essentially no hipfire accuracy, making no-scope shots based purely on luck instead of skill. The two available scopes fit a nice range of utilities, from longer range sniping in PvE coupled with higher impact, to the lower zoom scope faster charge rate for close combat in PvP. The middle tier perks complement the bow for both PvE and PvP comfortably. Single point sling is recommended for close combat action, while flared magwell can help speed up reloads during long range battles in PvE. Send It will bring the combat scope's range in line with the marksman scope range, which is helpful for encounters that combine close enemies and long range snipers in one setting. And on top of all this, the arc damage is probably the best elemental to have with a close tie to solar damage. A lot of enemies in the current encounters available have arc shields, specifically Fallen Captains and Hive Knights. You see a lot of those enemies in the Prison of Elders. And finally, the scopes both feel really good for the design situations. They look really cool and have interesting animations that light up during the charge. Alright, now the bad. First off, in terms of actual sniper range, the bow falls short. This isn't a huge problem, but you won't be able to compete with the Icebreaker or Black Hammer for longer range shots. The bow will always be a close to medium range sniper rifle. Secondly, while the perks are useful and help the bow, none of them are standout must-haves. The middle tier perks marginally boost the usefulness of the bow. If Send It or Flared Magwell was replaced with Field Scout, then we'd be having a different discussion here. Even the final perk Hidden Hand seems pretty underwhelming for being the final perk unlocked on an exotic. One could say that the real exotic perk is that it's a fusion sniper rifle, and I would definitely agree. I'm just not sure if that's enough to justify dropping existing sniper rifles for the bow and giving up an exotic slot on your primary or heavy. Third, the bullet travel time can be a real concern. The farther away your opponent is, the easier it is for them to strafe out of the shot, and when coupled with laggy Crucible matches, it can become even worse. And finally, the charge rate. Even though the combat sights bring the charge rate in line with Peyrune's fire, it's still a sniper with a charge shot, which makes it a very slow time to kill if you hit the body instead of the head with your first shot. You're better off switching to your primary to finish off opponents if you body shot with the bow. So how does it fare in PvE? Honestly, it is a lot of fun to use. I had a blast sniping and hip firing with the same gun. It honestly brings a new level of fun with sniping that I missed, since standard snipers don't hip fire on the fly. The damage, while decent, is not going to outshine sniper rifles when compared to critical shots. What you get in exchange, though, is a ton of sniper bullets. This alone can make you choose the bow for some encounters. Plus, it'll one-shot 90% of the red health enemies with critical shots. The only problem is it takes up an exotic slot, booting the king of rocket launchers from your loadout. The main question you have to ask is, do you want maximum damage per second or maximum shots per minute? The bow will give you plenty of shots to spread out over large packs of enemies, but it's not going to dish out a ton of damage to a single target. When I took it into the Nightfall with Arcburn, Majors still required 2 criticals and a body shot to drop, but it was still fun to use regardless. For PvP, I really feel like the bow shines in this arena. It's not perfect, and again, I do not think it's going to replace the sniper rifle class in usefulness, but it offers a lot of perks for an exotic special slot sniper. Spawning with 18 bullets in a match alone is enough to make some people choose the bow. I found that most matches I could just use the bow and rarely switch to my primary. Special ammo crates give you a generous 14 shots per pickup. That is absurd. Bungie nerfed the special ammo count in the Crucible and then introduces several special exotics that have high ammo counts in the Crucible with House of Wolves. With the combat scope, body shots dealt 152 damage, which means that most opponents will die if they've already been team shot from a hand cannon or pulse rifle. The hipfire is excellent in PvP and behaves pretty much like a fusion rifle. Hipfire criticals still take a lot of skill to land, but in the right hands could easily challenge shotguns in close combat. The high aim assist and hidden hand perk will also grant a little help with headshots compared to other standard sniper rifles. Unfortunately, the bullet travel time and charge rate will absolutely hinder the performance of this weapon. A lot of times what seems like a headshot will turn into a body shot because they strafed a bit while the shot was fired. And if you go up against an equally skilled sniper that's using a regular sniper rifle, they will most likely win because the charge rate and bullet time puts you at a disadvantage. This weapon is best for sniping unaware opponents, and in short corridors you can pick up a lot of kills. The combat sights are a low enough zoom that you can snipe in a lot of shotgun focused areas, which is going to bring an interesting dynamic to the Crucible once everybody gets acquainted with the bow. Another problem I noticed is that if you take any fire while aiming and charging, your shot will get knocked off easily. Again, challenging opponents head to head with the bow may not be the best strategy. When you catch them off guard, they're easy kills, but when you're taking fire, scoping in for a critical becomes very difficult. Luckily, the hip fire can save you from time to time and makes this a unique hybrid in the Crucible. Excellent sniper rifle coupled with a decent close combat follow-up for shots. And finally, this is obvious, but you'll be giving up an exotic primary to use the bow in the Crucible, and this alone could be a deal breaker for many Guardians. In conclusion, the Queenbreaker's bow is an excellent exotic fusion sniper rifle. It feels exotic and performs in a unique way that Destiny has not offered up until now. While it competes in both the sniper and fusion rifle arenas, it does not achieve best-in-class status in either of those classes. It offers a strong set of pluses that aren't available in any other weapon, and it's just fun to equip and use. No doubt about it, some people will absolutely love the bow in both PvE and PvP, while others might consider it as undesirable as No Land Beyond. For me, personally, I'll be choosing the bow first from the Elder Cipher bounty. Thank you so much for watching this review. I hope you found it informative. If you enjoyed the video, then slap the like button, subscribe to PlanetDestiny if you haven't already, and check out my channel as well, TeftyTef Games. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.